Hey you, do you like Godzilla? Yeah? Well, do you like the big lizard so much that you're willing to spend thousands of dollars on a Godzilla toy? No? Well, it may surprise you to find out there are some people out there who would answer yes to that question. Today, we're going to take a look at and expose the ridiculously expensive world of Godzilla toy collecting and find out why there are some people out there willing to shell out thousands of dollars for a piece of plastic. So let's get this show on the road. You may be thinking, how expensive can a Godzilla toy even be? I can go over to my local Target and buy one for $10 if I wanted to. Well, you're not wrong, but I'm not talking about those plastic roaring Godzilla toys you see at your local store. I'm talking about Sofubi Godzilla toys. For those who don't know, Sofubi is a term given to Japanese toys made with a soft vinyl material. Sofubi toys are made using a method called rational molding, and I'm not going to claim to be an expert on the actual intricacies of making these toys, but it usually consists of using a mold to make a hollow but durable soft vinyl toy. This method of making toys has been used by various companies, large and small, for making officially licensed Godzilla toys throughout the years, even going back to the 60s. Here's an example of a Godzilla toy from the 60s made with soft vinyl by one of the most popular Sofubi toy makers, Marusan, a Japanese toy production company founded in 1947. This specific Godzilla toy was released in 1966 and was the first official vinyl Godzilla figure ever made. It's so iconic that it has been re-released several times, but as you can imagine, securing an actual original Marusan Godzilla from the 1960s can cost you a pretty penny. For example, one of these sold for $2,000 on eBay in 2024. And that's another thing I want to mention. Many sought-after vintage Godzilla toys rarely show up for sale online on marketplaces like eBay. The two main places a collector can find these are on eBay and Yahoo Japan, which is basically like eBay in Japan, which Americans also have access to. But even then, like I said, there aren't many sold listings for vintage figures like these in either online market. Now I want to fast forward to more modern Sofubi Godzilla toys. Another famous Sofubi making company is Marmet. This Japanese company is known for producing Godzilla toys that are more stylized in nature. For example, Godzilla is in pink in the films, right? Anyways, I'm excited to talk about Marmet Godzilla toys because oh boy, this company made one of the most sought after Godzilla toys among collectors to this day, the Marmet 1995 Godzilla. Let me explain. This figure is Marmet's version of Burning Godzilla as seen in the film Godzilla vs. Destroya. This toy was released in 2007, and for whatever reason, collectors love this toy. They're obsessed with it. There's basically a general consensus among collectors that this specific toy, a Burning Godzilla, is the best iteration of the character ever made. So how valuable is it? Well, that's the interesting part. It's hard to tell. This toy has been released multiple times since its creation, but with different color schemes. The toy is also commonly referred to as the Marmet Desugoji. One of the more common color schemes you can find of the Desugoji is this one, which was released as a theater-exclusive toy which I believe you could only find by visiting Toho cinemas in Japan. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it was pretty exclusive. It can be hard to determine exactly how many of this specific variant were made, but a good guess in my opinion would be around 100 to 150. And going off recent sold listings, this specific variant can go for around the low $1,000 mark. Now by contrast, let's look at one of the rarest variants of this toy, the Department H exclusive variant. Department H was a monthly event held somewhere in Japan centered around fetishes. I know, what do fetishes have to do with Godzilla? Well, apparently, for some reason, Marmet took it upon themselves to release extremely rare Desugojis at these events. For example, only 5 of this variant on your screen were made, and sometimes Marmet would release one-off Desugojis, which is exactly what it sounds like, an ultra-rare one-of-one paint scheme. Going through recent sold listings on Yahoo Japan, we can see that one of these ultra-rare Desugojis sold for $8,000. So in a way, this Godzilla toy is both rare and not rare at the same time. It all really depends on which variant you're talking about. And as we've seen, depending on the color scheme, these Godzilla toys can fetch anywhere from $1,000 all the way to $8,000. And if you want a good laugh, the retail price for most of these Godzilla toys when they were originally released back in 2007 was around $100. So how's that for an investment? There are hundreds of toy companies out there that have made and are currently making soft vinyl Godzilla toys. So obviously I'm only able to talk about the tip of the iceberg here, unless I want this video to be like 3 hours long. Needless to say, This entire niche market is such a crazy rabbit hole to get into. But I want to take a chance to talk about how ridiculous this hobby feels at times. Let's take the Desugoji toys I was talking about for example. A few of them showed up for auction on eBay recently as of me recording this video, and one of them even sold for $3,000. But something caught my eye. After looking at the amount of people bidding on this toy, only 4 different people actually bid on it. Likewise, there was another Desugoji variant up for sale at the same time as this one. This exclusive variant that was released for Godzilla Fest in 2014, it sold for over $1,600 and only 3 different people bid on it. The point I'm trying to make is, us collectors have more power than we think. Just imagine, it only took 3 people to influence the value of this specific variant for the near future. Now whenever someone wants to sell one of their Desugojis in the future, all they have to do is view how much it sold for before and go, oh, some schmuck paid $3,000 for this figure in the past, so I'll price it around that price as well. It also doesn't help that there aren't many sold listings for this specific type of Godzilla toy to even reference. And why would there be? These things are extremely rare, and that's where the ultimate catch-22 comes in. They are so rare, in fact, that only a very small amount of people in the world even know of it. I mean, I had to make a whole video on them, and I don't think there are many videos on this dang toy out there. It's not like rare Pokemon cards, where there's a global market and fan base that dictates the value of the cards, because even the rarest of cards were made in the production runs in the thousands. Some of these Godzilla toys are so rare that only a handful of people in some random Facebook group know about them. And it just so happens to be that some of these people are willing to shell thousands for a Godzilla toy, and their only competition in the market is each other. What I'm trying to say is, I can only hope that my absence from this collecting hobby can contribute to lower prices on these toys, because at the end of the day, a figure is only worth as much as someone is willing to pay for it, and I refuse to be one of the 3 dudes willing to pay $2,000 for a Godzilla toy and make that the standard. And unfortunately, there are also other Sofubi making toy companies that feed off of this FOMO among Godzilla toy collectors. One of the worst ones I've seen is Neoplayer One. Neoplayer One is another modern Sofubi making company which has made their fair share of Godzilla toys, but they've cracked the code. The only way you can even buy their toys is through a lottery system. That's right. You have to enter an online raffle system to even have a chance of spending the over $1,000 retail price for one of their Godzilla toys. There's also been speculation online that these raffles aren't even legit raffles, because coincidentally, most of the people that quote-unquote win these lotteries have already won multiple ones before, and they also have thousands of followers online. So this leads me and many others to believe it's all some circle jerk meant to promote the exclusivity of these Godzilla toys. It's just ridiculous at the end of the day. But anyways, I don't want to end this video on a bad note, because there are other companies that make Sofubi Godzilla toys for the common man, such as Sunguts, which focuses on making cuter looking Godzilla toys, and one of my personal favorites, M1, which also makes some awesome looking Godzilla toys. But that's about all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this random video about a niche topic I've had a special interest in for quite some time now. Let me know down in the comments below, would you spend a mortgage payment on a Godzilla toy?